What's popping, cuties? I want to do a raw dream interpretation. I think I might start doing these, but I had quite an interesting dream. I was trying to do a new technique. I don't know if you guys can see it right over there, and I ended up actually falling asleep while doing it. And so I was with my best friend, and he was a very, very happy version of himself. He was the version I've been portraying him, because there's a manifestation that I'm trying to do, and so I've been consistently just thinking very positively, and he's always in my thoughts during this, and so he's the happiest version. So that's at least my interpretation of why he was the way he was. But we were in my home. That's what it felt like in this dream, but it was like a purge state. It was almost like GTA 5, if you guys have ever played that. It's kind of like a free-for-all, and not necessarily that everyone's after you, but it's not necessarily the safest place. And oh, sorry, itchy. That's that is true with how I feel about here. It is a beautiful place. It's not the worst place in the world, but when it comes to my emotional happiness, stability, my emotional safety, it's not necessarily my favorite. I feel again like it's like an emotional GTA 5. But regardless of that fact, we were in these spaceships. I know. They were so sick. Huge to small spaceships. And I want to say that's because I was talking with my roommate and an old friend about Lego Star Wars spaceships earlier today, which I'm not going to complain about being in a spaceship, because we actually ended up going into like this hyperdrive mode. It was arguably one of the coolest things I've ever dreamed before. It was like a wormhole was actually there, and it was all these insane colors, and I remember like just getting ready to go through it. Oh, it was so sick, so sick. But that passes, we transition on to the other side of it, and really we just teleport somewhere else on the map like it's a video game. But then I have to give some backstory. So then the next part, I'm in a house with Ethan, my best friend, is no longer there, and I'm with some people, which I don't want to say the names of it, so I'm gonna call one of them H. We're gonna call yeah, we're gonna call one of them H, and we're gonna call the other one L. So H and L are affiliated, and I have certain feelings towards H, and then I have certain feelings towards L, and they're both from my past. And now L was following me, and L was following me, and they were saying not very nice things to me, very rude things, if I'm being honest, and starting to speak about what they were going to do, and all these negative things. Now this is my mental version of L from my past, because when they were around in my physical experience, oh sorry, I'm pretty tired. This is kind of how I thought about him, more of like a predator. Yeah, a predator is kind of like a way to put it, but like a predator in disguise, and only if you knew them outside of school could you understand like how they acted, how they were. So that's the interaction I was having with them, and I stood my ground at a point. I was like, you need to knock it off. Like, I don't care if you're gonna do this stuff. I don't care if you like me, if you don't like me. And I guess in a way that was me standing up to my own thoughts towards this person, because earlier in that day I'd thought about H and L, and it made me feel very uncomfortable, like literally like sick, and that's me getting out of vibrational alignment. So I went back in. I told myself like, no, like I'm not gonna sweat over that. You kidding me? And I guess that's the dream version of what happened. And then things got like a little bit dark. Actually, everyone started to like really fight and die. And it might, my interpretation of that right now is like outside forces ruining my emotional state, which then can cause chaos in my physical world, which is, yeah, that's true. When in life you have an emotional imbalance, that is when you're most susceptible to having your life kind of fall apart. And then there was other things. I eventually ended up being in my house. Like it was like the dream transition to something completely different. Oh yeah, this one's kind of cool. I eventually ended up being at my house, and I was working this job at some retail store. In there, I saw this worker that was wearing this blue shirt. It had like a blue Minecraft creeper on it. It's kind of funny, but I somehow like my vision just changed, and I was just seeing them, and they were a YouTuber, and they were in a room that was very similar to mine. They had a bed that was very similar to mine, and they were just talking as they were getting ready to move. And I could tell that they made a living off YouTube, and it was, it made me happy because that's kind of like my dream. At some point or another, I would really like this to be a full-time thing. And, I do work a part-time job as a barista, which is making coffee. And it gets all the bills paid. I have more than enough money, but I always dream bigger. And this is my happy place. This is where I can ease myself and feel fulfilled. So I would love fulfillment from this in terms of my life with it. But that's my guess on why I was seeing that. And as for the creeper, couldn't tell you, dude. Been seeing too many Minecraft memes. So that is my dream interpretation. I think I'd like to start doing these because dream interpretation is a very powerful skill. I would give, if I were to rate myself on this dream interpretation, I'd give myself like a C plus to a B minus. But hopefully in the future I come up with better ones. So, I'm JC. Peace, you guys.